Vous pouvez l'appeler Madame Paname. C'est un bouquet de roi que vous pouvez cueillir en bord de Seine. Madame, tu seras toujours pour moi la ville des amours et de la femme.
Welcome back, James Kalm Rough Cut viewers. We're gonna run in here. David&Schweitzer contemporary, formerly Life on Mars, and well, it's storming out tonight, so the crowds have thinned out, and I think it might even be after closing time. But we're gonna take a look at an exhibition by Daniel John Gadd titled For the Moon. And here's the artist. Daniel, come over here. Let's take a little walk around and talk about the paintings. So, is this your first debut show here in New York? Have you had other shows?
No, this is my first solo show in New York.
First solo show in New York. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, one of the things I kind of wanted to start out talking about is kind of your unique use of materials. We were talking about you're using mirrors and foils, aluminum leaf, things like that. Why don't you talk about how you kind of came to the use of these materials and the mirrors?
The mirrors, I was just incorporating in paintings for maybe some formal elements, and I was trying to think about what they meant to me. And then I realized they're a lot about personal reflection, just reflection, and then as a painter, I'm interested in the quality of light that comes off them when you pull paint over them.
Well, we were talking earlier also that, what's the title of this piece? Do we know?
This is You're All I See.
You're All I See. We were talking about how, well, I said that I'd actually kind of played around with mirrors a little myself, but most of the sections of mirrors that you're working with, you've actually painted over all of this stuff. So are we saying that one of the things you're interested in is somehow how the light goes through the paint, and you were talking about various kinds of mediums and stuff you were working with?
Yeah.
What are your ideas about the color and the light?
Well, I think depending on how thick or thin you put on the paint, some of the light gets trapped in there, some of the light bounces back. It's an interesting tool. It's like it's like quick glazing almost, And
it changes as you move back and forth in front of them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially because some of the materials I was putting in there was some, like interference pigments or...
interference pigments?
Yeah, and silver pigments, and also I was playing with the materials. I was using acrylic paint, oil paint, and I started putting powdered pigment and polyurethane, and that creates actually other layers because of the way it dries. So.
Sure. Let's keep moving here around the corner. The other thing we were talking about is you're using these kind of circular or even oval formats that you're working in, and how that kind of relates to maybe hand mirrors or some kind of a mirror that someone would have in their dressing room or something like that. Do you think about that?
I think about just the reflection of the mirror and how the piece and my art making is sort of, it comes from a deep personal place, and it is kind of a self-reflection.
So say a painting like this, how long would you work on something like this?
This painting took about a week because of drying time.
And you've also got, is that pearlescent pigment in there that you're using? Or is that some of the interference pigment?
I think that's that, what is it, the interference blue with polyurethane so that it glows kind of.
And I was saying I like the way that these cracks sort of soak up the extra pigment, and you end up getting a nice a linear thing going on. Okay, this is a whopper. Do we have a title for this one?
Yeah, this is called I Know Rivers.
What was it again?
I know rivers.
I know rivers. And you're saying this is about 10 feet tall, roughly?
Yeah, 10 feet. I think point to point on the bottom is 10 feet. So.
But this is a diptych, right? So it's split down the middle. It makes it a little easier to move it around.
Yeah, I'm limited to myself in my studio, so I had to figure out how to be able to move it.
You were also talking about some of the cracks in the mirror. I mean, I was mentioning just the fact that they had kind of a compositional thing, but you were saying something about putting things back together again, or some kind of maybe a spontaneous thing that happens when a crack takes off?
Yeah, well, you know, the cracks happen, and they happen unintentionally, intentionally, because I'm moving these big things around. But I'm very interested in taking something that's broken and putting it back together. So, you know, I'll take a 5-foot sheet of mirror and just drop it.
Really?
Yeah. Just why my hands look the way they do. But
you ever had any nasty cuts?
oh, every day I work, my wife makes fun of me because I come home cut. So.
Well, we like artists that are willing to bleed for their practice here. So on the surface of this one, you were talking about polyurethane and other kinds of things. What else would you mix in there?
So in this one, I mixed in, first I put a very thin layer of acrylic paint, and then I put wax, and then I put polyurethane on top.
Well, when you say wax, you're just talking about
like
regular...
Dorland's cold wax.
Okay, Dorland's cold wax medium. Yeah.
So I rubbed that on, and then I put the polyurethane on top and let it pour off, because I thought where the wax was, it wouldn't stick. So I thought it would be
That would be what I would think. Well, this is a nice little wall installation. I also like the fact that some of your things you're dealing with the kind of a horizontal division. Some of them are vertical. Oh, this one's just kind of got some fragments of unpainted mirror. Now, a lot of people, when they're working with color, they kind of take white as the base, and you know that's one end of the spectrum, and black is the other end. But if you're using something like a mirror, which is silver, as kind of your base, where is the other end of that, as far as your color spectrum goes?
I don't know. You know, I guess it's a lot of times the mirrors are added after, so you know, there's an initial color scheme or pattern that's started, and then the mirrors put on, and then the shape kind of starts to make sense. I start cutting or hacking or.
Now, these pieces of wood that you're building these on, they have a real nice kind of a stressed, worked-on surface. Do you start out with something that's already been worked on, or maybe something that's been on the floor in a studio or something, or do you actually build up those surfaces yourself as you're starting and building up the paintings?
Well, when I start working, I just have 4x8 sheets of plywood. So I just kind of start working, and then you know some of the smaller ones are the discards from the big ones. Cutting.
Well, that's good. I like to save things.
Yeah.
Sometimes you end up getting things that happen accidentally that you couldn't make happen if you tried in 1,000 years.
A lot of the cool surface structures happen when you pull the glass off, the mirror off, and the mastic is exposed.
And this also has got a lot of the pearlescent, or what is that, metallic maybe even? Pigment in there?
Yeah, you know something with the mirrors, you mentioned it when you walk past, it changes.
That's right.
And I was interested in...
I like that I can see your shadow in there, but I can't really see a sharp image of you, so that's kind of a nice veil of pigment on there. Okay, let's go over and look at this last piece over here. What's the title on this one?
This is Rosewater.
Rosewater, and that's what, about 6 feet in diameter?
Yeah, I think it's 72 by 72, 72-inch diameter.
Okay. Now in this one, this section of mirror over here is almost totally, I mean the mirror part of it is almost totally obscured, but there's still a kind of a reflection that you're getting sort of bouncing through the color, so it does make that yellow a little punchier.
Yeah, I was interested on this one on the last layer was wax, the cold wax medium, and I thought that would kind of make it flatter. And on this side, I used the high gloss polyurethane because I thought it'd be interesting if the painted side was much more
shiny, right,
the mirror
reflective.
side.
Yeah, okay, that's great, because I was thinking that this is very matte, so you're saying you put wax in there and that kind of deadened down the
up in
sheen
here,
on there.
This,
Yes.
a mirror should be, the light should be bouncing off it, but instead it's bouncing off this side. So.
Okay, Daniel, well, thanks for giving us a little tour.
All right, thank you.
So that was a look at Daniel John Gadd out here at David&Schweitzer Contemporary, 56 Bogart Street, in the heart of Bushwick. And as we always say, thank you, Kate. Merci. Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.